Hey everyone, it's Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're back to play more of the new DLC from 2 Point Hospital, Culture Shock. And we're currently playing on the first map. In the last video we got to 1 star, so we'll be working on our 2-star rating this time. If you're enjoying this video, then please make sure to give it a like. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to make sure to catch more of this series, including my review of the entire pack and whether I think that it is worth a buy, then make sure to subscribe. And let's get into it. So you can see on the right that we have our requirements for our 2-star rating. So 2 of them are like super easy. The first one is staff morale. I always keep them fully paid. I know in the old theme hospital I used to severely underpay my staff, but it's actually quite unmanageable in this game. If you underpay your staff, you'll be constantly managing them, and I already spent all my time managing my staff anyway, so I don't need that. Because I keep them paid and all that stuff, keep them happy, they generally have a pretty high morale anyway. And then the second one is the hygiene rating. Honestly, I think that's pretty hard to get a bad hygiene rating, so that should be pretty easy. What is kind of makes me afraid is that reputation of 85%. Getting the reputation is really easy. All you have to do is run a marketing campaign and you will be there in no time. The problem is that if you have an 85% rating, people will flock to your hospital and you will be quickly overwhelmed. Suddenly you're gonna have the place just filled. There's gonna be people having like huge queues just getting to the reception. I've been there. I do not want to do that. That's a sure way to basically kill your hospital. It's gonna kill all your profits because people are gonna be mad and waiting, and like they'll be so mad that even if they manage to get to treatment, they won't want to pay, and that's gonna tank everything. So I'm gonna spend quite a bit of time at this level trying to get to a 2-star rating, and the reason is really to get ready so I have enough staff and enough rooms to handle that level of reputation. The other thing that we need to do is have a Star Roderick cushion cure 16 patients. So the last time we had him trained as a GP, which is obviously more of a diagnosis. However, you can actually tell him what rooms to be in, unlike all of the other staff. So he does whatever he wants, and they do say that you can kind of pick him up and put him in any room you want. So that requires a little micromanaging, which is kind of annoying, but you can do that. One thing you can't do is if he's in his trailer relaxing, he don't want to come out, so that's a little annoying, but that's okay. I will slowly build so that he can go, but in the meantime, let's just focus on preparing for that 85%, and I'm gonna do that by starting to build more treatment rooms and train more and more staff. So I've already set up now another building, so I'm gonna have that building. So well, the building that we started with is gonna be our kind of diagnosis area. I didn't realize that it was kind of cool. We actually only started with like a small plot, and if you buy the building adjacent to it, it all becomes this like one big L shape, which is really nice. If they don't have to leave the building, it's just so much faster for both staff and patients. So that's nice. We have lots of space, and I'm gonna put my GP's office and my ward there. So I spoke in the last video that I really love the ward as my sole diagnostic room. I know that that's maybe a little bit of a weird way to play the game, but check out that video for I gave like a huge long explanation on why I like to do that. And I also have the fracture ward in there. Now that is a treatment room. I usually don't put it together with the diagnosis, but the reason I have that is that I like to train certain staff for the ward with like ward skills, and to avoid having to like micromanage them, and staff go on break and stuff, so you want to not have just like one staff always for the ward. You want to have a group of, let's say, 5 people for 4 positions. That works really the best. So because I have staff with ward training, they kind of fill both the fracture ward and the regular ward, and I want all of a certain type of staff to stay in one building, because that way when they're called to the next room, the patient isn't waiting there forever for them, because they're pretty nearby and can go to the room that they're needed in. Oh, here's this guy's trailer. So it has like, yeah, It has like weird horns and stuff, and he likes to come out and say hi to invisible people. Anyway, so that's why I like to keep all my ward nurses and my GP doctors in this main building. So that's why I have the ward and the fracture ward in the same building, even though the fracture ward is a treatment. To the left of that building, I do have all the doctor treatments, and then the building behind is the nurse treatments. And as you can see, I'm trying to hire like crazy as possible, and then make sure to say which doctors are allowed to go where depending on their training, and of course training them with the appropriate skills. So I tend to have like certain doctors. So I have my GP doctors, I have my treatment doctors, and that's it. And then for my nurses, I have my treatment nurses and my ward nurses. For assistants, I have the receptionist and the marketing, and then janitors tend to be either the type that like upgrade things, like the mechanic, or just a mishmash of like the handyman, like fixing machines and stuff, the ghost, and I think that's it. Usually I'll put them with maybe like motivation so that they walk a little faster, and that's about it. So that's the only type of staff that I have. And you'll see that I don't have any diagnostic doctors because I don't have any diagnostic rooms. The ward is really the only one, and that works quite well. Now I put the treatment room all the way to the left because it was getting to be quite low in I don't know, like mechanic, whatever. And they did say that they want one machine to explode, and I thought that that machine would just like take up a space forever and you wouldn't be able to get rid of the exploded parts, but turns out you can. So that's a big difference between 2-point hospital and theme hospital, but I didn't know that, so that's why I put it like all the way to the end. So you see me constantly trying to like hire even the marketing guys. I kept putting them on different campaigns, and then I would forget about them and not hire people. So I gotta get better at that. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm just managing staff. At this part of the game is really like trying to build up as many staff as I can. I'm so picky. I want the perfect staff. I really want them to have like those specialist skills and no like unrelated skills. That's just a waste. I don't mind training them, but I do like, you see, like I get rid of most of my staff. I don't like them, and I also pay attention to the personality traits. So things like litterer, definitely not. Works for peanuts, awesome. That's the kind of doctor we like. I'm not too picky that they have good traits, but I don't like them to have bad traits for sure. So no loiterers, no short tempers, no hangries. Definitely no has a dark side. Ooh, you don't want that kind of doctor that has a dark side. So yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going on and like Xing off all the staff that I don't want. And I have forbade my handyman from repairing any machines. So you see a bunch of machines smoking, trying to fulfill that producer idea. And somehow once they get that idea, like you can't tell them like, oh, I don't want to do that, I'll do something else. No, they want what they want, and that is it. So I did actually have to like go through with it, which was kind of annoying. Not that the producer idea only gives you a little bit of extra money, but because you're running like a regular hospital, you're still getting paid for treatments, and I usually like double the treatment cost for everything. So I'm not really in need of money. You could almost just ignore that part of the game. It really doesn't add anything, and it's something that's really quite optional. And I just realized that I've been talking super fast, which is normal for me, but you guys might be kind of scared. So I will try and talk a little bit slower because I'm aware that a lot of people have trouble when I speak quickly. Okay, so that room back there was like the nurse area. This one's about to explode. So I was worried that the fracture ward would also explode. So I kind of like, I thought it was gonna take up some space permanently, so I like shrunk it down and then moved it all the way to the back, so that the machine could explode. Oh, there's an earthquake, and let's go back and check. Something's about to go on fire. Ah! The fire! And I can lift the doctor out, but the patient wouldn't come out. I'm like, leave! The place is on fire. Don't like, just stand there. I don't want him to die. Boom! And that's about it. Like, you can just get rid of the wreckage like that. Place a new one. No big deal. How easy was that? So then I said, oh, okay. So I don't want to leave it all the way there because the doctors and the patients have to walk all the way to the end. But then I realized that I took up the former space that was there and I didn't have space for it in the doctor treatment section anymore. So I started rearranging this entire area, trying to figure out where I was going to put this treatment room. Because it is huge. It's a 7x3 room. It's really, really large, so very difficult to fit coherently. I did manage to like move the door to the side, and that allowed me to move this room to the side, and then everything fit. And I think, yeah, at that point I realized that I didn't have a washroom in this area, and you don't want people going for treatment and then realizing, oh my gosh, I have to pee, so I have to go to another room or another building and then come back. So I built a washroom there. And I was really low on nurses, so I didn't know that I might have to build another ward for diagnosis. So I decided, okay, let's get more nurses and train them all. So again, preparing for that reputation of 85%. Short temper, didn't like the short temper thing, not into it. And then lots of like polluted skills, which is bad. So now that I knew that it wasn't a big deal if they exploded, I just went ahead and removed it over here, even though I knew it probably would still explode because it was already on fire. But it's not a big deal. And then this guy just goes in there and like throws his hands in the air and was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna fix it, so yeah. So boom. And then I was like, oh yeah, I reduced the space and it's like a tiny little room. So I had to take everything out because otherwise it's impossible to place his beds. And then I like rebuilt this room. Yay! Okay, so we're back to where we were before. Ah, there's a little shark. I love that shark. I'm glad you don't have to build a building where he is and he just kind of hangs out there. I think when you visit a hospital, you should definitely visit a shark. So it keeps bugging me for like more and more treatment rooms, and at first I started sending people away because I didn't want to build them. And if it's one person you send away, honestly it doesn't really matter, but after a while it did. Oh, and I guess you can't because I have my face cam here, you can't actually see the amount of money we have, can you? Let's fix that. Magical floating person. How cool is this? Okay. Let's do it this way. Does that look a little weird? Okay, wait. How about I move myself here? Is that weird? Is that weird? Okay. Is that like my arm is just kind of cut off at the bottom? So that's kind of weird. Oh well, you get used to it. Okay, wait, no, I can make myself smaller. How about that? Is this weird? What do you guys think? Okay, I'll put myself here. Okay, is that too small? Okay, let me know what you guys think about this placement and like, I don't know. Okay, I feel like this is fine. Like, be a little, okay, that's fine. Okay, so I did remember to set my hospital policy back. See, a while back, our star needed to diagnose 3 people, so I made him, or I started sending people back to the GP. But I think I set the policy back. Usually I do not send them back to the GP after they've been diagnosed. It's just a waste. And you really, there's no money in diagnosis. The money is all in treatment. But yeah, so as usual, just trying to manage. Oh yeah, so I realized that. See, this guy's just like hanging out in his trailer, going out, waving at people. There's nobody there, dude. And then he just goes back. So I wanted him to go and treat people because he's supposed to be treating people, and he refused to come out of his trailer, which was super annoying. So yeah. Ooh, look at that queue at the reception. It's getting a little crazy, so I think we're gonna have to expand eventually. So there used to be an issue where if you would do the reception room, after a while, I don't know, if you had too many patients, it got a little weird. But I experienced that like a while ago. Whoa, look at that line! I think I was training them. So everybody was like learning customer service and not doing any customer service. But yeah, because there was like a little bit of a bug in the reception room, I used to use these like individual reception pods, but it is less efficient than an actual room, so I will eventually get rid of those and do the room which is more efficient. Actually, this whole entire area is gonna have to be redone before we get to that 85% reputation, because there's no way that this layout is gonna work. And plus, like, we need way more GP's offices. Like, we still only have one. Can you believe it? But because they tend to, like, go to the ward, get diagnosed, I set my diagnosis to only 50%. So, usually if they go to the ward, that is it, and they go off for treatment. So, that really relieves the load on the GP's office. Yes, 50% is a little low, but two things. First of all, it doesn't actually matter that much if they die. So that's really the best, right? That they're not diagnosed enough, they go for the treatment, and then they die or they are not cured. It affects your reputation, but I usually don't care about my reputation anyway, or like reputation is way too easy to get because of marketing. So that's no big deal. And I figure that if I set it to higher and they end up spending way too much time in the hospital going from diagnosis to diagnosis room, like they're actually more likely to die than if they just got treatment, because it's just taking too long and they're getting sicker and sicker and more mad. So that's not good either. And as you can see, I spend all my time just training people and hiring people, and that's it. It's like a staff management game. It really is. So yeah, I'm just seeing who's good. I didn't like anybody. I'm so picky. Okay, so the producer idea, we just need to put one poster, which is super easy. So you can put any of the posters that they listed. And I think maybe I decided on the shark bin just because it was really cute. It's not as good as the toxic waste bin. So the toxic waste bin looks really bad, but they said that like if it gets really full, people don't think it's like super disgusting, whereas regular bins do look disgusting. So that is why I usually use toxic waste bins, but the shark one is super cute. Okay, finally the star is out of his trailer and just wandering around being an idiot. Yeah, so really all my time just hiring really good staff. I decided that now we have 25 people who need training. That is a ton. So I really needed to get a new training room. And it is, I put it in the main area because that's where most people are. So it's a little faster for the staff to get in and out of that training room. But that is not going to last long. We really need to get it out of there because we are running out of space. Yay, he's gonna cure somebody. No, he's not. He killed somebody. Dang. Okay, that's what you want to avoid. Patient refused to pay. That is so annoying. But fortunately, we don't get too many of those. There's always a couple though. Yay, another cured. So I'm gonna try and train a ton of GPs, like more than I currently need, because that is the first thing that we're going to need as the hospital expands. And then I was like, oh, I hired these people and I never specialized them in this like assignment area. So I'm gonna make sure, you can see I only have like only certain types of staff. I'm very, very particular on that. And this is like such a cool feature. I love that you can like assign, you're allowed to work in this room and this room, like really micromanage them. It's awesome. Without actually having to spend time micromanaging them. I only wish that like you could move staff up and down, otherwise everything's kind of mixed up. You have like a GP and then a treatment doctor and a GP and a treatment doctor. So I'd rather have them like all in one section. But unfortunately, they have not made that update yet. Those ice sculptures are kind of freaky. Like you can see the frost coming off of them, but it almost seems like they're like smoking on fire or something. So you gotta get used to that. Yeah, and okay, at least we got like prestigious hospital, that's something, but we're not doing that well on the awards. However, the awards in this game, they don't pay very much, so they actually don't make a ton of difference. I'm also increasing the number of assistants I have because I know that I do tend to get a line of reception, and I really wanted to avoid that when we get to that 85% reputation. So I started training a ton of people in customer service so that we could have a huge reception room and just make sure that we don't have people waiting for reception and just passing people along as fast as possible. And you'll see even like the little 2. So I think usually it doesn't show you a number until you're like past 6 or something. But yo, if you have a room that has a lineup of 6, like that's a lot. So I actually set it to 1 for this one, just because I wanted to see which rooms were waiting for treatment so that I could move Roderick into that room so that he could cure them. And I don't mind being able to see every single place that has a queue. It is actually quite convenient. Okay, train up our nurses. We're gonna need a ton of ward nurses because again, diagnostics is so important. And I think we managed to hire a bunch of treatment nurses. So sometimes you just so happen to hire a bunch of treatment, and sometimes you just so happen to hire a bunch of wards. So I usually see who I can hire, and then anybody who didn't have any skills, I hire them in wherever I'm lacking. And it's so annoying. I'm trying to get Roderick to cure people, and it's like everybody's just seeing the psychiatrist, which he is not a psychiatrist. So I couldn't get him to cure those guys, and then there's like nobody else. So that was super duper annoying. Oh, see, okay, so like where the sign is, that's where people enter this hospital area. So we're actually only occupying the right side, which is kind of super weird. I don't know why they started us off in that building, but then it was like way too much work to move everybody over. And it is the biggest building, which is nice. So I was like, fine, I'll just get them to walk to reception. And I think at this point, yeah, eventually we got a psychiatric emergency, 6 psychiatry patients. So it's like, hey, like this is too much. Everybody who's going for treatment is either a nurse room or for the psychiatrist, so I just decided to train him in psychiatry in order to get him to cure more people. That was like the only way. Okay, so now I'm starting to get more GPs, not necessarily because we need them, but again to prepare for that 85%. And I'm really going to end up reordering this entire area. I bought a new building that we're going to put all the training rooms in, as well as marketing, so those ones don't really require patience. And then that frees this area to be just the ward, the fracture ward, and like as many GP's offices as I can fit in. So you see me trying to reorder this. I decided to put the wards on the left and the GP's offices on the end. And then I'm gonna kind of put like a reception in the middle. And then, wow, look at how full the staff room is though. Like, that is insane. Obviously, this is a very busy area and we need 2 staff rooms. Yeah, I could build just one big one, but first of all, they tend to like wait to use the door because there's only one door. And also, then I have to like build it from scratch, whereas the staff room, otherwise I could just copy it. So I just decided to create 2. And I was trying to figure out like, where do I put this reception? And it was actually kind of hard. This layout is like enough space that it looks like a lot of space, but not big enough to fit this ginormous reception desk. So I decided to take this area. We can get, what, like 6 receptionists in, which is pretty good. I hope that that will be enough to handle this hospital. I mean, keeping in mind that this is not Croquembouche. Like, Croquembouche is the last level of the base game. This is not that. It is the first map in the DLC, so it really shouldn't be getting that crowded. I am surprised at how many people I'm seeing, and if we get to Reputation 85, that's a lot. So yeah. And then, yeah, we want our energy drinks so that everybody is rushing from the GP's office to wherever they need to go next. But I do want to keep them happy as well, so I use some luxury drinks to increase happiness. And then I want to put lots of ice sculptures to increase the thermal comfort. And I mentioned this last time, but I like ice sculptures because not only do they cool things down and increase the decor value, but they also don't need any maintenance, unlike air conditioners. So they're definitely the way to go for hot maps. I don't think there's any equivalent for cold maps, which is really too bad because it's nice not needing a bunch of janitors to repair all of those. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's like 30 people that I need to train, so let's get on that. And at this point, I'm gonna start using, instead of like internal people, unless we really have a lot of them, I'll start hiring the external trainer. That guy's a little bit faster, and he's not pulling an additional person off the floor who's serving patients. And we have like $2 million, so we're like, cash is everywhere, so this is fine. And there's our start. He's curing patients. What do we have? Like 6, 7 cured now. Good job, good job. The psychiatry patients seem easier to cure, which is great. Or whatever this emergency is anyway. What do they want this time? Cure 3 patients? That we can do. Producers, you and I are on the same page this time. And look, each time it's like $14,000. That's awesome. So this is how we rake in the money. So I have set the treatment price to double, and we are like raking it in. So we don't even need that buff of like treating the majority of the emergency patients. Just having them pay us for the treatment brings in so much money. Like that brought in like $500,000. Yay, good job. Well, you didn't cure them, but at least they paid. I'm so bad. As long as I never run a real hospital, that's fine. So I'm getting everybody to specialize. I want surgeons only to work in surgery, psychiatrists only to work in psychiatry, GPs only to work in the GP's office, and treatment doctors to work, well, all the treatment areas. And I like to have more than I need, because again, we are swimming in cash. Like, I've been barely talking how long, and we're almost at 3 million again. Or already, we were just at 2. So we are swimming in cash. We can afford to get more staff than we really need. So yeah, and that keeps the hospital running. So that's fine. And if you wait until you really need the staff, you won't have time to hire good staff. And I can't remember, what was I looking for here? Oh, I was looking for the shark bin. Because they did see that, and I finally found it. It's so cute. So I was like, yes, let's put the shark bin right here. Oh, there's so many people to train. It's really hard to keep up. I did decide just to get another GP to train them because we have so many GPs, and at this point I'm really like trying to push as many GPs as possible, but we don't actually need them yet. We will, but not yet, so that's fine. They're just hanging around. Might as well grab them and save a little cash. And look, we're already at 3 million. How fast was that? So money is so easy to get in this game once you realize that just double all your treatment costs and it's fine. And I'm kind of also waiting for the 85% reputation until we're closer to getting Roderick Cushion to cure all those patients, which is actually getting pretty close. He already has 14 out of 16, so he's getting super close. And once we have more patients coming through, it'll be even easier for him, right? So let's just get up all those GPs, and I think we can start getting our reputation up. Oh, staff morale though, it dropped to 77%. That's so bad. Okay, so yeah, large campaign. They wanted a campaign for 6 months. So I was like, large campaign, 6 months. Let's go, let's increase this reputation. I'm ready for the onslaught. So he's just hanging around. He only has 1 patient left, so I'm really not too worried about it. That is not a patient, that is a handyman. Okay, so I saw a guy coming and I was like, no, you other guy, get out. Oh, he died. Dang it. I didn't want him to get too tired because then he'll go into his trailer for who knows how long. Okay, so psychiatry patients, I didn't realize seem to have a really high cure rate. He's doing really well in them. Let's face it, he's not a great doctor. But he managed to cure a bunch of them, and we are done. That one, he's cured 16 patients. So yay, the hygiene rating is like way higher than required. I did decide, okay, for staff morale, one of the things that they walk around a lot, so if they don't have that thermal comfort and they're too hot, they might not be as happy. But even in the kind of used areas, I started putting all those ice sculptures, and then now I'm going in, I'm satisfying everybody's pay requests, and anybody who's kind of unhappy, I'm telling them to go take a break right now. So hopefully that will increase their happiness, and I know that we're gonna get to 85% really fast. So this is kind of a temporary measure to like tell them to go take a break, but it worked. So we got our 3-star, yay! Oh, 2-star. don't get ahead of yourself. So, congratulations! Your hospital has been awarded a 2-star rating by the 2-Point Health Ministry. Oh goodness, I knew this would all go to your head, and that's why, as your friend, I had hoped that things would go much worse for you. Gee, thanks. You'll soon be screeching on the paradoxically termed reality television and throwing cranberry juice in the eyes of your collaborators. Shame. Continue to fester in the realm of fiction or return to reality and get back to work. Yours fragrantly, Tarquin Foxbridge, Health Minister. Well, I'm not quite ready to get back to reality, so up next we're gonna continue this map and get our 3-star rating. I have a feeling that we're gonna get there now that we've built up our hospital. We can really achieve anything. So if you like that video, then please do give me a like. That helps me out so much. And if you want to catch the next video and the one where I review this entire DLC, then make sure to subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss the next video. And I'll catch you next time. Bye!